We had a guided tour of the Vatican City that went for 4 hours, and we just marveled at the Sistine Chapel. We stood, everyone stood, and looked up and wondered how in the world anyone could do this painting. We couldn't talk. No one could talk because there were other groups there, and everyone needed to be quiet so that you could just look up and enjoy the artwork. You know, people's fingers were pointing like this and that. You know, look there, look there. Our guide was Giorgio, and he explained so much to us. He was a professor, and he taught art in the university, so he had a lot of insight in paintings. And on top of that, his professor was the man in charge of cleaning the Sistine ceilings and the walls. So we got a lot of understanding of the job. They used ammonia and water to clean, but he didn't tell us the proportions that were used. And then oh God, what a difference. You can't believe it. There's still, they left some spots so you could see the difference. Then we went to St. Peter's Basilica, where we saw these giant rugs. I'm talking about giant rugs, you know, like from the floor, maybe 15, 20 foot up, the rug went high, and then long and huge scenes, and they were just magnificent. No one walked on them. They were just to look at, and they were against the walls when the people lived there, and to keep the heat in the room, or vice versa, to keep the coolness there, one of the two, because it's all rock. The statues in St. Peter's were huge, and everywhere. There were statues everywhere, and mosaic pictures. They looked like oil paintings. Now, you had to get close, and sometimes if you could feel if no one was looking, you know, and say, oh, no, that's mosaic. But you had to be careful. And our necks were getting stiff from looking up at all the marvelous things. The massive doors with huge panels of brass or gold. Then we went to the Forum this is where Julius Caesar was killed. And close by was the Temple of the Virgins, which was not large at all. It was a circular thing with lots of columns there. And these were young women, you know, like 14 years old. And they were in the temple. They had to be chosen for, I don't know how they chose them, but they were guarding the sacred flame. And if they lost their virginity, now how would they know if they lost them unless they had a baby? But they were buried alive. Now this just goes to show, don't fool around. Don't fool around when you're guarding the flame. Oh, otherwise they took care of them, you know, they could go out in society and eat and drink with everybody and pay nothing for anything, you know, everything was free. But they took a big chance there. The Colosseum was bigger than life. God, it was so huge, and they keep restoring it. Well, they have to, or otherwise it crumbles, you know. We went under and down below where the ground floors used to be, and now it's just open air. But, you know, the ground floor is not there anymore, but below the floor is still there. And we saw the cells where the Christians were kept, and we saw the areas where the lions were kept. And I, for one, am so glad that I didn't live at that time of life. Now, if you weren't with the in-group, and we all know what the in-group is, well, if you weren't with that group, you were nothing. The Colosseum had rows and rows and rows going up and up and up and up. The first rows were for the dignitaries and the politicians and the emperors. Then up a row for their ladies. Then up a row for rich people who did favors for them. And then up and up and up, till you got to the top for the poor people sitting in the hot sun. They even had bathroom areas there. They were not like our bathrooms, but they were workable. You could manage. They had to have something, all those thousands of people in there. But now there's nobody there, and now there are cats all over the place, all over the place, all different kinds. It's just wild.